The General Affairs Department Administrative Division, known as the company's backwater. There's never any work that lasts past noon here. Having finished my tasks in the morning, I was, as usual, lounging at my desk. What lousy weather. Looks like it might rain. Looking at the sky like this brings back memories. I don't mean to say that my old wounds ache or anything sentimental like that. Those have long faded away. It's just that on that day, the day I was kicked out of the sales department, it was also cloudy. That was 3 years ago, the day the major contract I'd spent nearly a year setting up got scrapped. Memories of frustration and helplessness. Above all, the humiliation of being blamed for everything. Maybe I should have just pretended to repent and taken the blame. But there was no way I could do that. Because I knew that the reason the contract fell through was because of my rival, Daigo Hino. But the sales manager, Kusunoki, blamed me alone. It's your fault the contract got scrapped. I only explained to the client what we could and couldn't do. That's what I'm saying is the problem. You need to be more flexible, like Hino. That's not being honest to the development team. I remember Hino smirking on the side. In the end, since I didn't show any sign of remorse, I got transferred to the General Affairs Department's Administrative Division. By then, I didn't even have the energy to appeal to higher-ups.
Yugami, how about some tea?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, Sugihara-san. Well, thanks to that, I can shamelessly collect my salary while slacking off. It's not all bad. Rather, it might even be better this way, I think, as I leisurely sip the delicious tea Sugihara made for me.
Oh, by the way, starting tomorrow, a new employee will be joining us, so be sure to look after them.
Poor thing, whatever they did, congratulations on officially exiting the rat race.
They've got a bit of a story. Could you show them the ropes?
Anyone sent here has some baggage. Ah, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Haruto Yugami, 29, currently enjoying my slacker lifestyle. And then, the next day...
I'm Luca Madarame. I've transferred from the Development Department System 3 Division. Please guide me and show me the ropes.
I couldn't quite hide my bewilderment at the sight of someone so young and energetic. I never thought they'd send someone like this. So, what did you do to get assigned here?
Well, I didn't really do anything. Actually, I ended up here because I couldn't do anything, you could say.
I see. Sounds like they considered you useless as a developer. But in that case, not having any weird pride should make it easier for you to fit in. Well then, I'll show you the ropes. The major task is coordinating with cleaning contractors, but we'll get to that later. Your daily duties include cleaning areas the contractors miss, taking care of the office plants, and managing inventory for supplies like pens and copy paper. That's it.
Is that all?
Pretty much. So in the afternoon, you can space out, read the newspaper, or browse the internet on your laptop.
No way! What about work?
There isn't any.
That's not fair. If that's the case, I'll never get promoted.
Being sent here means promotion is a far-off dream. Get used to it quickly, or it'll mess with your head.
Well, for today, just sit up your desk and we'll start work tomorrow.
After that, I took Madarame-san around to explain the cleaning spots. You only need to water the plants occasionally. Too much can actually harm them. By the way, this one's called Pachiran, and the one at my desk is Gajumaru. Pachiran came here last year and...
Pachi? What? Gajuma?
My hobby is taking care of office plants, and I found myself getting a bit carried away introducing them. At that moment... What's going on? I thought I heard some noise, but it's just you, Yugami from General Affairs. The voice interrupting me belonged to Hino, whose very tone was grating. My lifted spirits rapidly sank. It's Hino.
What was that? Did you just click your tongue?
No.
You little...
Is he a friend of yours?
Not a chance. There's no way someone as ugly as him could be my friend. He's just an old colleague.
Oh, really? You've gotten pretty twisted, huh? Didn't you used to talk about honesty and all that?
I still believe in that, but if I'm warped, it's thanks to someone. After all, my values have changed, so go ahead and keep making money to support us, Ace Hino.
You little... Listen here, you're down there because you lost to me. No matter what you say, you'll never go back to the sales department or get back on the promotion track.
Yeah, just go out there and rake in the cash, Ace. Hino stormed off after another, you little. Sorry about that. Let's continue.
Yugami-san.
Ignoring the old pain in my heart, I resumed the tour.
Yugami-san, is it really okay to be free in the afternoon?
When lunchtime ended and free time officially began, Madarame-san asked me timidly. When I nodded, she hesitantly took a laptop from her bag and spread it on her desk. That's a programming textbook, huh? She pulled out several thick books from her bag and struggled to read through them, occasionally groaning. The next day and the day after, Madarame-san continued studying programming. It didn't seem like she liked it much. All the books she had were for beginners. She must have been concentrating pretty hard because she looked exhausted by quitting time every day. Hey, Madarame-san, even if you work that hard, you won't get back to your old department.
I know, but maybe, just maybe.
She probably hadn't fully grasped reality yet. Before long, she'd likely lose motivation. But even after 2 weeks, Madarame-san kept up her programming studies. Curious, I went around behind her to observe.
Ugh, it's not working. Why?
You're not reading the error message. The lambda expression is incorrect.
Huh? Yugami-san? You've been there this whole time? Wait, did you just give me advice? Yugami-san, you know programming?
Well, a little, yeah. It wasn't until after I answered that I realized I might have said too much.
Please teach me programming. No, teach me work.
Huh? Where did that come from?
I want to get promoted no matter what.
I almost nodded unconsciously, but reconsidered and shook off her hand. No, even if I help you, you won't return to your old department or get promoted. False hope is the cruelest thing. But for once, Sugihara-san spoke up. It's not impossible. The development department is always shorthanded. If you're a competent programmer, they'll want you back. How is someone from admin supposed to prove they're competent? The company programming contest, perhaps. I was taken aback. The company's programming contest is an annual event run by the development department. But that's... You can participate regardless of department. It just needs approval from a manager or higher. Sugihara anticipated the question and added, Of course, I'll approve. In the end, I reluctantly agreed to help Madarame-san with her studies. But given that she was a programmer incompetent enough to get transferred, it might not amount to much. However, as we progressed, those thoughts dissipated. She wasn't as slow as I'd expected. This feels like she just got assigned a teacher who wasn't suited for the role. When dealing with genius types who struggle socially, they might give up, thinking, I don't understand why you don't get this. There are quite a few programmers like that, and maybe that's why Madarame-san, who's more of an effort type, didn't mesh well.
Yugami-san, you used to be in sales, right? Why are you so knowledgeable about programming?
Well, I didn't want to be one of those salespeople who say, yes, we can, without knowing what they're talking about. I believed that understanding programming was necessary to be a sincere salesperson. In fact, that belief put me in the top 1 or 2 among the younger staff.
So, why did you, someone so competent, end up transferred?
It's a simple story. I botched a major contract. Whether a deal succeeds or fails comes down to mutual trust and understanding. That's what I believe. At that time, I'd spent a lot of time explaining to the client what we could and couldn't do. The contract was practically within reach, or so I thought. But then I got hit by a new virus and had to take about 2 weeks off. During that time, Hino, who was competing for the top spot, stepped in as my substitute. And he told the client we could do anything and everything. He destroyed the shared understanding we'd built. By the time I got back, it was too late. The client's demands had skyrocketed. I desperately tried explaining what we could and couldn't do again, but to the client, it just seemed like our response kept changing depending on who they spoke to. Ultimately, we lost their trust and the contract was canceled. That's how I ended up getting chewed out by the manager. But looking back now, maybe Hino was right as a salesperson. I got transferred and he's still walking tall as a top salesman.
That's not true.
Suddenly, Madarame-san leaned forward.
I heard that the large project System 2 is handling is starting to fall apart. It's because irresponsible salespeople keep pushing impossible demands. Salespeople who exhaust the team have no justification.
Talking big for someone still green.
Ugh!
So, why are you so fixated on being a programmer? You don't seem to enjoy it or be particularly suited for it.
Well, I'm a nepotism hire.
Finally, I understood what Sugihara-san meant by someone with a story. For nepotism hires, the General Affairs Department can serve as a place of protection rather than punishment. It's a safe haven where they can bide their time until they retire or get married.
I was about to be pushed into an arranged marriage, but I didn't want that, so I ran away. If I can't become independent, they'll definitely take me back. My parents probably won't approve if I stay a regular employee. At least I need to become a supervisor or assistant manager. So I chose a technical position, where promotions are relatively quick due to seniority.
I see. That's why you're so determined to get promoted. Now I understood. And, to my surprise, I felt a bit more motivated. Well then, you'd better give it your all in the company programming contest. By the way, about that arranged marriage, are you actually a well-off lady?
My father's hobby is collecting luxury cars.
Oh! I decided to pretend I didn't hear that. Half a year passed, and the company programming contest arrived. The contest used a cloud service that provides a testing platform. Well, just stay calm. It's fine to skip any questions you don't know.
Yes, I'll do my best.
Madarame-san wasn't in perfect shape, but we'd done everything we could. Her results shouldn't be disastrous. Contrary to my expectations, Madarame-san's results placed her in the top 30% of the company. At the cafeteria, where we came for a small celebration, we were shocked to find out.
No way. These results are too good to be true.
It is strange. I know you worked hard, but at best, I thought you'd be mid-level. This seems too good.
I didn't cheat or anything. Well, it's because the top programmers in the company couldn't even participate.
A sudden voice made us turn to see Nanami Suzuki standing there. She's my peer and a supervisor in the Development Department System 3 Division. Unlike sales, the hierarchy here is relaxed.
Luka-chan, you took the contest too. You did a great job. Nanami-senpai, thank you. But what do you mean by not even being able to participate?
You two seem close. Now that I think about it, Madarame-san was also from System 3.
Well, right now, System 2's project is such a mess that teams are being mobilized across divisions for damage control. Almost all the top programmers are working on that. Ugh, even I've been pulled in and stayed up all night.
She's subtly implying she's among the top.
That's right. Nanami-senpai, you're so cool!
Just then, another figure approached. It's Yugami from General Affairs. What's this, a reunion? I don't recall inviting you.
I don't want to see you either. What's General Affairs doing in the cafeteria? You're spoiling my meal.
Excuse me?
His words, filled with smugness, were abruptly cut off by a low voice, freezing the air.
What's with that arrogant tone? We're practically killing ourselves cleaning up the mess you caused with your careless, yes we can sales tactic.
Shut up! If it weren't for me, you'd have no work in the first place. Arrgh.
Do you have any idea how much manpower, resources, and money have gone into fixing this mess? How many of your deals worth of profit have been blown up? Or maybe we're even looking at long-term loss. If you ask me, you're the real burden on the company. We're planning to hold sales accountable this time, so be prepared.
Damn it! You'll pay for this!
After being driven away by an irate Suzuki, Hino hurriedly fled.
So Hino was the one handling that messed up project. Ugh, that's right. Everyone in development wants to strangle him. This project is big, and the issues have spread, but we've already been pushed to the limit with his smaller projects.
Well, in any case, if that's the situation, then your ranking makes sense.
But if the top contenders didn't participate, then being in the top 30% doesn't really mean much, right? No. This is a big achievement. You never could have ranked this high before.
That's true. You should be proud of your hard work.
The development department is short-staffed everywhere right now, so it won't be long before you're back for real.
After saying that, Suzuki quickly finished her meal and returned to the battlefield. Soon after, as Suzuki had said, Madarame-san received the order to return to the development department.
Thank you so much.
There, don't cry. It's all because of your hard work.
It's all thanks to you, Yugami-san.
Yugami-kun, Madarame-san, great job. You both worked hard.
And so, Madarame-san left the General Affairs Department. With that, my role was complete.
You look lonely. You should have taken the programming contest too, Yugami-kun.
No, I'm not interested in returning to the Development Department.
Still thinking about sales?
Well, I found myself at a loss for words. The days spent working alongside Madarame-san had reawakened something inside me. I guess I can't hide it from you, Sugihara-san. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't any lingering attachment. But there's no way I'll ever go back to sales.
You never know. There could be an opportunity.
That'd be nice, I thought, uncharacteristically. A few days later, I was summoned to Executive Director Sakuma's office via her secretary. I had no idea why, and I wondered if I was finally getting laid off. This is Yugami from General Affairs.
Come in.
Upon entering, I saw Executive Director Sakuma and Madarame-san. Before I could wonder why, Sakuma started speaking.
It seems my niece was a great help to you. Thank you for everything.
So the Executive Director is Madarame-san's connection. Oh no, I didn't really do anything.
Well, we just so happened to be reinvestigating the case that led to your transfer.
Oh?
I can't give you a timeline, but the investigation is almost finished. Let me say this. Your name and position will be restored.
Really? Thank you! Madarame-san, thank you too! Just then, there was a knock at the door.
They're here. Come in.
The people who walked in were Sales Manager Kusunoki and Hino, both looking serious.
Kusunoki-san, do you have something to say to him?
I'm sorry, Yugami. Back then, I thought your approach was reducing the number of contracts and gross profit. If I'd been more perceptive, maybe the current development department issues could have been avoided. It's all my fault. Sales also needs to be honest with internal staff. That was a perspective I lacked. I can't make any excuses.
Even if you apologize now, my 3 years won't come back. However, if you understand what I was saying, I hope you'll sincerely apply it moving forward.
And now for the main issue. Hino, you're suspected of intentionally meddling with the contract. As you know, the deal was important to our company. If you deliberately sabotaged it, that's embezzlement.
No, I just did my usual sales pitch.
That contract was practically a done deal, just waiting for the papers to be signed. We also have the email records of the handover. You knew there was a difference in sales styles. So why would you go out of your way to disrupt it?
Well,
Hino fell silent. Yes, if that deal had gone through, I would have received a large share of the points. The answer was clear.
Stay home and wait for further notice.
At Sakuma's cold words, Hino slumped momentarily before turning to glare at me.
why? Why are you the only one who gets rewarded? I worked my ass off to get contracts, so why am I not getting recognized?
Because you've never done anything with real integrity. Didn't you hear what the manager just said? Sales should also be honest with internal staff. Sales doesn't end when you secure a contract. There's a whole process afterward. If you keep doing selfish, short-sighted deals, you'll never get the recognition you're after. There was no rebuttal from Hino. It felt like my way of doing things had been validated. Something that had been festering inside me for years suddenly broke free, and I felt like I was on the verge of tears. After that, Hino was accused of intentional contract interference, facing charges of embezzlement. Even if he didn't face criminal penalties, he would still be liable for damages. Considering his responsibility for the failed project, staying with the company wasn't an option. Additionally, Kusunoki took responsibility and accepted a demotion, planning to restart as a regular sales employee. He's also studying hard for next year's company programming contest.
So this is the kind of work the development department handles.
Meanwhile, the development department finally managed to get the floundering project back on track. The rules were revised to ensure impossible promises couldn't be made by sales, with penalties for violations. Being honest, even with internal colleagues, it turned out to be crucial after all. As for me, I was able to return to the sales department right after. Madarame-san seems to be doing well in the development department too. She always has stories whenever we meet in the cafeteria.
Today, Nanami-senpai praised me for the first time doing a code review.
She talks about it like a child telling their parents about school. So, is everything okay at home?
About that. It turns out it wasn't really an arranged marriage.
She explained that her parents had suggested the match because they were worried that she hadn't even had a first crush by the time she reached college. However, the lack of communication from her parents and her own strong belief that it was an arranged marriage had led to the misunderstanding.
My aunt had known everything all along and took me in for the experience as a cooling off period. After she encouraged me to talk to my parents, the misunderstanding was cleared up. She really helped out with both my family and you, Yugami-san. And when I told my parents I'd fallen in love with someone at the company, they decided to support me.
I see. That's great. Wait, someone you like? Luca looked pleased when I reacted for some reason.
Oh, so you do care.
Well, as a former colleague, I'd at least be curious about the person.
It's you, Yugami-san.
Before I could mumble my way out, Madarame-san said it clearly.
Could you go on a date with me this weekend? How about a botanical garden?
Yes, gladly! And on Saturday, after I confessed my feelings, we began dating. A year later, I got promoted. And the year after that, we became a married couple.